What is up, guys? How are you doing? So I told myself that I wasn't going to cover this until the tech news roundup. However, Essential announced their phone today, and I was reading about it and I was like, this is actually really cool. I couldn't help but feel the need to cover it, and it's why we're here now. So roll the intro. As I mentioned yesterday, Essential is a company that was created by Andy Rubin, who's the co-founder of Android. It's important because he's been teasing it for a little bit, and people have been really excited, and we took a look at one of the sneak peeks we were given yesterday, and now that the phone's announced, it looks really cool. Now, before we get into the phone itself, I don't want to give the reasons that Andy Rubin stated for creating Essential, and because I feel like it's important to know where they're coming from. And in a release that was put both on Twitter and is on the Essential website, essential.com, reads as so. So why did I create Essential? Well, my hardware engineers wanted me to talk about how we are bringing real passion and craftsmanship back into this category. My software engineers wanted me to talk about our vision for making all devices, even those we don't make ourselves, play well together. My partners wanted me to talk about how we are using methods that could change how successful technology companies are built forever. He then goes on to explain he was out with an old friend and they were sort of talking about how technology has become less and less choices and more forced features. At which point he says, just when I was about to drop another criticism, it hit me. I'm partly responsible for all of this. For all the good Android has done to help bring technology to nearly everyone, it has also created this weird new world where people are forced to fight with the very technology that was supposed to simplify their lives. Was this what we had intended? Was this the best we could do? He then talks about how he was left reflecting about it and how he wanted to build a 21st century company for 21st century people, which led to the creation of Essential, which stands on 6 leading pillars, which I think are pretty cool. 1. Devices are personal property. We won't force you to have anything on them you don't want to have. 2. We will always play well with others. Closed ecosystems are divisive and outdated. 3. Premium materials and true craftsmanship shouldn't be just to the few. 4. Devices shouldn't become outdated every year, they should evolve with you. 5. Technology should assist you so you can get on with enjoying your life. And 6. Simple is always better. This all adds up to make a phone that, from the front, looks gorgeous. And by gorgeous, I don't mean pretty good. Look at that bezel, especially on the top. I like the way that the camera is it's almost embedded into the display. As predicted yesterday, it does have more of a chin than a forehead, but that's required because you need somewhere to put all the techie, geeky stuff. And as I had hoped, the 360 camera is removable, but it's more than that. The phone is semi-modular. I feel like it gets inspiration quite similar to the Moto Z and the Moto mods, the idea of something like snapping on, except instead of going over the whole of the back of a device, it's just got 2 pins in the top corner, which is cool in its own way. I'm intrigued to see what you'll add to that though, because outside of a 360 camera, there are a few things that will work with that. Part of what made the Moto Z's Moto mod so successful is that they were designed to go over the entirety of the back of a phone, meaning that if you did make a battery bank, it wouldn't just slide right off. And before we talk about the phone itself then, let's talk about the 360 attachment thingy. It will go on sale for roughly $200 but doesn't work without the phone, it's an attachment. So if you buy it together with the phone, it's a mere $50, which is a decent deal. It has two 12 megapixel sensors with fisheye lenses at a field of view of 210 degrees, which means you get full coverage of the 360 space, and allows for 360 UHD or 3840 by 1920. It also has 4 microphones built in so that you get that full 360 for the sound as well as the video. Elsewhere, I also want to quickly mention the dock. It's very briefly mentioned on the website. There's exactly one picture of it, as you can see here. And what I want to know about it is how that's charging, because you put your phone down on it and it charges, but I can't tell whether it's sort of Qi style wireless charging or whether it is using those 2 pins. If it is full wireless, then great. I'd love to be able to stick it on a wireless charging pad. It does have a ceramic buck after all. However, if it is those 2 pins, So let's talk about the phone, shall we? There is no denying that it is built like a tank. They did a drop test with it, and it wasn't scratched. The reason is very simple, though. Instead of being built out of aluminium, not aluminum, it's built out of titanium, which makes it extremely strong. That display on the front is QHD at a 19:10 aspect ratio, meaning it's 2560 by 1312. And coming in at 5.71 inches means that the phone, although it has a larger screen due to the reduced body, Similar to the S8, means that it will have a phone size of roughly the S7 Edge. As well as that titanium body, as I mentioned, it has a ceramic back, which is gorgeous, and the screen is covered by Gorilla Glass 5. The internal specs are nothing to laugh at either. It comes with a Snapdragon 835, which is the same as in the S8. It has a 3040 mAh battery, which has fast charging over USB Type-C, which is really cool. A cool thing for me though comes in the storage department and the memory department. Sure, the 4GB of RAM is relatively normal, but by default it comes with 128GB of storage. That storage is in UFS 2.1, which to normal people at home basically means it's very fast. However, it's not all great. As I mentioned, it does have a USB-C on the bottom, which is also where the SIM card tray is, and no headphone jack. It does come with a USB-C to headphone adapter, but come on guys, why do you do this? In slightly better news though, it comes in 4 colours. The first 3 are relatively traditional. We have Black Moon, Stellar Grey and Arctic White. However, the 4th colour is just gorgeous. I feel like all 3 of these have to make way and we get Ocean Depths. The mixture of the greenish blue and the gold makes it look gorgeous. I would personally probably pick this colour over the rest. And the great news is, it's not even that expensive. Now, considering this is a top-of-the-line phone, and some would say it's better built than a lot of other phones, it only comes in at $700 US. Now, I do say the word only with a bit of caution because it's still $700 US, but that does make it $140 cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, which, considering it's matching or beating in most specs, means that it's actually quite cool. I personally would love to get my hands on one of these, and you can actually go and pre-order one right now. If you go to essential.com, you can reserve it, and they're only happening in the US currently, which is really sad because I would love one. But again, US only. And interestingly, even if you don't reserve it with your phone, the 360 camera is only $50 extra. Anyway guys, if you like this video, make sure to click like. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure what you're doing here. However, there is good news. You can click here to see the previous video, which you might prefer. We talked about the potential of this phone, as well as other news stories happening this week. You can click here to see the video that YouTube thinks you'll like most, so go click that because YouTube thinks you'll love it. If neither of those are your thing, subscribe to see more videos like this one, because future videos, they're getting better and better. I will see you guys next time.